I'm so honored to be here with Ice Cube.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
Does anyone remember when NWA dropped their first album? What year was it? 1985. Somebody, 85? When was it, Q?
Well, Straight Outta Compton came out in 1989, but our first single, which was actually Eazy's first single, Boys in the Hood, released 85, 86.
That's a while ago.
That's a minute.
It really is.
It's a minute.
I mean, you've been innovating for a long time, and there are a lot of folks that have innovated, and we have a lot of innovators in this room, but you've innovated in rap, a whole new genre of rap, TV, film, and now sports. That must have been a hell of a ride.
It has been a hell of a ride. I've been blessed to be in a position to, creatively show the world, some of the things and entertain the world for a long time. Yeah. And it's cool, we've mastered music and movies, and we're on our way to master sports.
Well, you know what amazed me so much about your career, a lot of people don't realize this, but you're obviously a performer, but you're also a creator and an entertainer, and now there's a whole new element, which is entrepreneur. And so I'm curious, just to get started, what has been the common thread? What has been that drive that has given you the curiosity to pursue all these different areas?
Recognizing the position that I'm in. A lot of guys from my neighborhood, didn't make it, didn't see their dreams come true. And I've been in a position and blessed to see my dreams come true. And the last thing I wanted to do was hold myself back.
Okay. By
fear or any of that stuff that creeps in when you're stepping into an arena that you're not used to, something that you've never done before.
Has it gotten easier? Has it gotten any less scary when you go? I mean, certainly in the origins of gangster rap, that had its own challenges, but moving from there to TV to film, now into sport, has it gotten easier in any way, or is it the same thing?
It hasn't gotten easier because my work ethic, I go 110%. So I'm gonna give it my all.
Okay.
Even, when some people think we're done here.
Okay.
There's nothing else to do here. I want to go that extra mile. I think it's important, especially when you're the creator. Yeah. You have to show the passion, the drive, the leadership. You have to have vision and conviction, because a lot of people are going to doubt, that ultimate goal that you have in your mind. A lot of people are going to tell you why you can't get there and the reasons why it's hard.
Yeah.
The word hard tends to make cowards out of people.
Yeah.
When, to me, it's like, growing up in my neighborhood, it's gonna be hard. Like, what else is new?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
it's like, it's not gonna be hard. It's gonna be Thursday, and then it's gonna be Friday, then it's gonna be Saturday, then it's gonna be Sunday.
Right.
And you have the opportunity to accomplish something that, people think is hard, so they're scared to do it.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, they don't even try.
Yes.
And when you think about it, and I don't know if many people know yet about the Big Three, but you've already overcome some incredible odds, because to start a new sport, to start a new league, we've all seen them come and go, and they usually haven't lasted as long as you've already gone.
Yeah.
Can you give us just the kind of the latest and greatest on your journey now in sports?
Well, it's been 3 years since we started the Big Three. Like you said, a lot of sports don't make it past year one.
Year one, right.
We saw what happened with the AAF league.
Yeah.
Me and my partner, Jeff Quantinus, we knew why that league was not gonna make it. We had saw their business model early. And so we wanted to elevate something that we saw happening every day, but hadn't been elevated to the professional level, which is 3-on-3 basketball. You know, it's
which we all grew up playing, probably more than playing 5-on-5.
Definitely more than you play 5-on-5. You know,
and internationally, is it the same kind of thing?
Internationally, it's bigger than it is here.
Wow.
Internationally, in a lot of places, 3-on-3 is bigger than 5-on-5.
Okay.
Because, you know, just because they haven't had the tradition of building these gymnasiums, and so people stick a court wherever they can and they play half court. And so we saw a void in the industry. Something that we said, why isn't this here? Why doesn't this exist? And we looked around, and it was no reason for it not to exist. It was, do we have the will and the vision and the talent to bring it into, you know, existence? And we looked around and we said, yeah, we do. And, you know, we thought about it for a while, me and my guy, Jeff Quantis. You know, my wife could tell you we kicked around this idea forever, you know. And then one day we said, well, Jeff called me, he said, you ready to burn the boats? You ready to burn the ships?
Burn the ships, okay.
Burn the ships. And it was after Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his last game. We knew that this idea would work because there's athletes out there who still have gas in the tank, fan base, and we can invent this sport, especially using former NBA players, which was in 2017, that was our, you know, basic idea. This is what we want to do.
Which makes a lot of sense, because it's incredible. You could have an athlete that is still performing at a high level, has an incredible connection with their fans. And then they retire, and it's just like, now what?
Man, some of them dudes don't even know they retired.
Right.
You know, it's like they out their contract and they sitting there waiting on a phone call, and it never comes.
Right.
And then they like, well, we'll get a call during All-Star break. You know, the trade deadline, we'll get the call. And
who was the first call you made when you decided you wanted to do it?
We called a few people. You know, people like Kenyon Martin. Gary Payton.
Who's a coach?
George Gervin. Dr. J. Allen Iverson.
Some big names.
And yeah, you know, Jermaine O'Neal and Chauncey Billups. We knew we needed to start. If you want to start something new like this, you got to start with credibility. And we knew grabbing Hall of Fame basketball players to endorse this league and to become a part of this league was our first step to gaining credibility, which without credibility, we wouldn't be here. You know, without respecting the sport in its essence, we wouldn't be here. We'd be a gimmick, and we wouldn't be going into
You would last 1 year.
No. And so we knew that's the cornerstone for something like this. And then we started to build on top of it. But, you know, the league started in one spot. And the reason why we're still here is we've been able to evolve. We've been able to read the tea leaves. We've been able to read the audience and the fan base. And also, you know, we've been able to learn a lot too, to push this along. And so we haven't been rigid. We didn't think like, this is the Bible, man, you know.
Well, you know, it's just
it's
so much like starting a company. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in the room. We have a lot of investors and entrepreneurs in the room. And to innovate is really about finding that problem and being flexible and nimble and iterating until you have a great product. I went to your the championship game last year for the Big Three, which was fantastic. I had a great time. I brought my son. And it wasn't like a normal energy in the room. It was a very different product.
Yes.
Like you said, it does respect the game, but it's a very different product. What was the journey like? You have a 4-point circle. How do you decide how do you bridge that gap between like respecting the game at a deep level and then pushing it so that it's super engaging and it really works?
Well, we knew we had to make the adjustments to make sure that our game was elevated to a professional level.
Right.
And so we looked at FIBA 3-on-3 rules, and you know, they're pretty amateurish and kind of boring.
Yeah.
So we knew we couldn't do that. We knew, okay, this is why this hasn't been elevated.
Yeah.
We got to make the adjustments and, you know, make our shit sexy, you know, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to make it better. We have to make it, you know, a fun experience. We can't be stiff like some NBA games. You know, I don't want just corporate guys out there. You know, no offense to any corporate guys.
Speaking of corporate,
I don't want the guys that's in their suit and tie out there.
Right.
I want families out there. I want, you know.
And there's music and energy.
Music, yeah, I want that. Because that's what's missing in, you know, American sports.
Yeah.
Going to the arena is seeing whole families that can afford to be there.
Yeah.
So we were doing things to push this along and make sure that our sport was unique. And we said we were changing the games, and we did. And that's why we've decided that what we have is really Fireball 3.
So that's what the game is called now, Fireball 3.
The style that we play
Yes.
is called Fireball 3.
Yes.
The league is still the Big Three.
Right.
Like you got the NBA, they play basketball.
Yep.
You got the Big Three, we play Fireball.
You're inventing a new sport.
Well, you know, it's actually what the kids told us. You know, it was like we was
Customer
hearing,
told you that.
Yeah, that they was calling it different stuff other than just 3-on-3, you know, and one of the names that some of the youngsters were calling it was Fireball 3. So it was like, lean into that.
Right.
You know, don't be like, that ain't what we started in the beginning. It's like, you want to lean into where and evolve with the fan base.
Yes.
You know, I learned that from scripts, from doing movies. You know, you write a script, you think, okay, I'm gonna have Denzel play this part, Al Pacino here, got Robert De Niro here, you know. You start thinking of all these great actors that's about to be in your movie.
Yeah.
Till you get the budget.
Right.
Then you realize, you know, I don't have Denzel Washington money, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't have Al Pacino money. So you make an adjustment, and you can pout and say, this is not what I thought of.
Right.
Or you can make the adjustment and say, look, I'm gonna make the movie better, even though I can't get the actors I can get.
Right.
And even though I've written in this script that we got an explosion here, and then we're gonna shoot in Saint-Tropez, and you know, and now I realize the explosion is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Saint-Tropez is not gonna happen. What do?
Right.
You make the adjustments, and you make them to win. You don't make them just because you have to.
Yeah.
You like, I'm gonna make this adjustment, but I'm gonna make it better.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go to damn Saint-Tropez. The movie gonna be better in Pasadena.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, that's how we've gotten here. You know, the only league that's survived is the UFC.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago. It took them 9 years to turn a profit.
Okay.
You know, I know my partner didn't want me to say this, but we feel we're very close to doing
You're moving
that
faster
after
than that, yeah.
you know, the 4th year. So,
Well, what's interesting about that, just because the UFC is obviously a great kind of case study and success story. I mean, it's a $2 billion exit that took place. Arguably, you build this into a big enough platform, you guys could be looking at something similar in the future. Is that your aspiration? Are you thinking about this as a entrepreneurial venture that can scale and be a global new platform, or how are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Without a doubt. You know, we have, you know, our long game is, you know, the big cup, meaning,
right.
You know, create big 3 leagues in different countries and play like a World Cup type of big 3 thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the future. That's where we're headed. You know, we were supposed to go to China last year, and we couldn't go.
Okay.
So, you know, we have, you know, dreams of blowing this up international and creating, you know, what they have in soccer with the World Cup. We can create the big cup. And so, to me, this thing is going to grow and be its own thing. You know, we had to establish ourselves as our own sport.
Yeah.
UFC is here because they didn't call themselves extreme boxing,
right.
or super boxing. You know.
Yeah.
They leaned into, we're different.
Yeah.
We have our own athletes. We have our own superstars.
Right.
And that's where we're headed. You know, we've gotten younger this year.
I noticed you changed some rules now. It used to be that it was mostly just ex-NBA players. You still have those.
Yes.
But I understand there's some different rules now.
Yeah, we wanted to open the
recruiting?
league up because we want the best Fireball 3 athletes in the world.
Which may not have ever played in the NBA.
May not have never played in the NBA. So we have open tryouts this year.
Okay.
To get an invitation to our combine. You can get to the combine, you might make it into the league. So, you know, we've done these things to put our flag in the ground.
Yeah.
And say we're here to stay, and that we can survive no matter what any other sport is doing. And we can coexist with those sports. So we love the NBA.
Yeah.
We love the NFL. But Fireball 3 may become your kid's favorite sport.
Right. Well, it's so inspiring, just the entrepreneurial piece, the idea that there had to have been a lot of haters in the process and fighting past that fear. Yeah, we can come back to that.
We love them.
Okay, all right, tell me about that. Or not.
If everybody telling you crazy, you don't have a good idea.
Okay, I like that.
You don't have a good idea if people are saying, man, what? Huh?
Yeah.
We stay ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Like, sometimes we have to sit and wait for the curve to catch up.
Yes.
Which is fine. You know,
a lot of people made money investing in companies or starting companies that people laughed at initially.
Yeah. And we got that too, you know. So many people have tried to start a sport. And I mean, a lot of people are getting into sports tech and these type of things. And, you know, they think, okay, I got this thing. I'm about to hook on to the NFL. I'm going to hook on to the NBA. No, you're not. You know?
Yeah.
But what's cool is there's a new sport in town that, you know, we've owned the summer for 3 years. Or, you know.
That's right. Not a whole lot to watch in the summer, sport-wise.
Not a lot to watch in the summer to really get behind, you know, 100%.
Yeah.
Even baseball's in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So we have a sweet spot. We have a sweet sport. It's hot. And we want to take it to the top.
Well, it's super inspiring, again, fighting past challenges to do it. How do you think about inspiring a broader group of either athletes or entertainers to take their influence and talents, and actually even more broadly, just even underrepresented groups, and just taking their talents to an entrepreneurial direction, to solve problems, to engage their communities the way that you've engaged? How do you think about that world?
You know, just start off being the example.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching.
Yes.
And you know, there's different things that we do here and there. You know, for the most part, try to be the example.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of cool stuff going on.
Well, you know, I'm inspired by this. I mean, look, I've started a foundry, as we talked about, that is focused on human performance and starting companies in human performance. We think there's an interesting unlock for talent that are in unrepresented groups that are not being represented here, that may not go out and fight past that initial fear to start companies. So we want to go after that opportunity.
That's great.
You know, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about something that's been on my mind and my heart, and I know it's been on your mind and your heart, and that's the loss of Kobe. And I wonder if you could just say a few words about what he meant to Los Angeles, what he meant to basketball. He was beginning to mean a lot in the innovation and venture capital community. Mm-hmm. But I know that was a close friend of yours, and I just wondered if you had any thoughts on how we should take this.
I mean, it's extremely sad. Kobe, I've said this before, not just Kobe, but a lot of our athletes, you know, become the glue that help hold this city together. And so, you know, it's like losing, you know, a nail, you know, the house isn't as steady.
Yeah.
But you think about Kobe and his spirit is bounce back.
Yeah.
His spirit is to never stay down, but get up, fight harder. We love Kobe because he wasn't satisfied with the talents God gave him.
Yeah.
He wasn't satisfied with that.
Yeah.
He wanted to be better than the talents that God gave him.
Yeah.
And that's why we admire him, because most people, they brag about the talents that God gave them and they're happy with it, and they do little to exceed that. And we saw a guy who would look like tried to exceed it every day.
Yeah.
And so that spirit is still alive. It's a spirit that we all can capture a hold of and push through this time and approach things how he would.
Yeah.
Understand and try to do better.
Yeah.
And that's Kobe.
Yeah, I think the way I feel, a lot of people know Kobe as the basketball player or the humanitarian or what have you. I had the pleasure of spending some time with him a couple of years ago, and his brain as an innovator was super impressive to me. And that same intensity, as you said, that he brought to the sport, he was bringing to entrepreneurship and venture capital. Even his shoes, I'm wearing some Kobe's in his honor. You know, in working with the Nike teams, he insisted that the fabric for this shoe, as an example, was the most cutting edge fabric, and that the lacing system was the most cutting edge lacing system.
Yeah.
And, you know, while some of the players are out, they just want to make sure the shoe looks a certain way, he was really thinking about performance and pushing the limits even in that area. So I hope that people start to realize that inspiration is so much bigger than just sports or the stuff we know him as.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's the spirit.
Yeah.
It's the spirit of Kobe is what we all love.
Yeah.
Somebody who was never satisfied, even being at the top. He feel he can make it better and do it better and come back better, come back stronger. Yeah. And I think we can all learn from that and try to, you know, figure out our Mamba mentality, you know.
Exactly.
Make it happen.
Exactly. So what does the future hold for the Big Three and for you? And what are some of the things that you're thinking about in terms of the company and yourself? How are you looking?
Well, like I said, if this league ain't around 100 years, I'm gonna come back from the grave and haunt the hell out of somebody.
Okay.
So we plan to be here. We are part of the fabric of sports. We're going to continue to grow our fan base, continue to grow this company, continue to innovate.
Did you raise, are you thinking about raising capital? As you think about building your business, a lot of investors in the room here, as you think about your customers, I'm guessing you have sponsorships and that kind of thing. How does that look? Do you look like UFC at some stage?
We're at the point, we're about to do a final raise.
Okay.
And we want a very strategic investor.
Okay.
I think what's been smart about how we've done things is we've got a lot of partners who are strategic. And, we don't want you if you can't help us take it to the top.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who can, help us excel in areas that we may not have tied down right now. So that's what.
But you already have sponsors, right? I mean.
Yeah, we have plenty. I mean, you never have enough.
Right.
But you rocking Kobe's. In honor of Kobe. I'm rocking Adidas in honor of the deal we got with the Big Three.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So.
Fair enough.
What's cool about us, we want our partners to win. We want to look for things to do to not just take a check and, stick a sign on our court like a NASCAR or something. We really want to do things. We think our league, can, you got the sports tech. We got the league that you can, innovate, try new things. We're very into that. We want to.
You're embracing all kinds of new technology.
New technology.
Augmented reality and that kind of stuff.
All of that. We want to bring a more entertaining game to the fan. We're not looking at what other leagues are doing. We want to be the first.
That's awesome. How can we help as a community? How can people here that are either building innovative products, technologies, or playing in this ecosystem in any way, how do you think about interacting with the innovation community? I know you and Cam have been working together on a lot of things. There's some it's a very technology-forward organization, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, we want to meet with you. We want to talk to you. We want to see if you, want to be part of this family. Like I said, everybody that we have is very talented. We couldn't put this together without a talented group from Jeff Quantnitz, who've been doing concerts and managing the biggest groups in the world forever. Amy Trash, who ran the Raiders. We have a lot of great people who help us do this. We're looking for more.
Great. Man, I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us, man. I'm really grateful that you spend the time. I'm grateful for all the work that you've done in the community and all the businesses that you've started, and you're a huge inspiration to entrepreneurs and innovators all around. So I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for listening. Appreciate y'all.